I know the sound is off because they mess up my mic with the fumes and so on and so forth. So I use a different mic, but I'm not using that mic right now. So one might make the argument that it's because I'm not doing what they say. But that argument doesn't hold weight. As you work the angles, you see that they're scientific Satanists to a large degree. They take pride in thinking that they know best about Scripture. They know it doesn't make sense to expect me to do something I would never do, which is what the damn devil or his followers say. I'm a man of God, and that's clear. I've been ready to die for God my whole life. I mean, I'd rather live a little longer with a beautiful woman, okay, be financially stable, what have you. And, you know, I maintain my financial flow just enough to be able to pay off whatever payment would need to be made if I did something that would never happen, which is magically, you know, fail to live up to the challenge or something like this. And I say in these words so they don't take me out of context. I actually am the top martial artist ever possible. I'm the most religious person ever possible. They film me and they change my voice to make it so you're confused about my personality when you listen to my videos. But if you listen carefully to what I'm saying, more than how I'm saying it, and you think about somebody who's part Nigerian, part white, who strikes at world record speed, who's not playing one bit, okay, who's been confronted by some of the most serious gang members, you know, you could find on the planet kind of thing, you know, in Los Angeles, okay, back in the day in San Jose, in various places. If you really wrap your mind around the type of person I am. I'm from the royal family of Dr. Martin Luther King's tribe, the Igbos in Nigeria. Kira Obi means black belt. Obi in Igbo means King Heart Hut Essence Center Temple Core and Christ in a certain context. And the word Obi, which means belt, is Igbo spelled backwards, right? The name of my tribe. Spelled I-B-O and I-G-B-O with the G is silent, which goes back to the G, the hidden hand, the hidden G of Freemasonry. Freemasonry is very much a response to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, as is Roman mythology, Greek mythology, you know, the Mesopotamians, the Phoenician Canaanite system. Okay, the Sabines must have believed something similar. The Philistines, the Amorites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, you name it, the Persians. They were all responding, like all the martial arts systems in the world, to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. Horus, who is seen as the archetype of Pharaoh, is seen as the archetype of the top martial artist by this Royal African Falcon martial artist. And there's all kinds of fake forms and fake narratives of Horus, right? The word for and form. I am the true form of the Son of God. The purpose is to serve God. The purpose is to complete God's work. So when you think about how I think and what cloth I'm cut from, right? Martial arts, right? Spiritual power. Soul brother, the soul brother of soul brothers, the top martial artist ever possible. You know that I'm not playing around one bit. And there's a lot of people who wish they had the kind of leadership potential that I have, the presence, the martial justification, the romantic, mental, spiritual, and moral prowess, the moral excellence that I have. And I'm not bragging here. I'm trying to help you understand. God made me. I didn't make myself. But I have to put a lamp on its stand, and I am the lamp, and God in me is the lamp. It is the light of justice, doing God justice by telling the truth about things. So when you think about any argument of, oh, well, they're actually responding to you not doing what they say, there's some truth to that, but it's not true. They are punishing people. They are massacring people all over the world. 9 million people die every year just from hunger and hunger-related issues because people aren't obeying God through me. Read Job. For those of you who doubt that I'm right, read the book of Job. In the book of Job, Satan asked God for permission to persecute Job. Now why? There was some justification. He said, I don't believe he's as righteous as you say. And the word Job is a play on words for job. Thus, the Christian martyrs in popular culture who are superimposed on ideas, as a story for another day, Okay, why they're being persecuted, right? But it's the difference between having the armor of God and accomplishing something and making the land better over time by proving yourself to God, and just being persecuted for being a coward and a rebel. And my videos themselves testify to my moral greatness. I'm the one telling the precise truth. Everyone else is playing the game. They're like the Jews who fled from Goliath. But I am the root and offspring of David, stepping up to the enemy, saying I'm the top martial artist. I am who I am, and telling the truth about everything. There is not a martial artist on this planet other than me that's doing that. And martial is marital scrambled, as in marriage, and I, Christ, am the bridegroom. Thus, you know them by their works. Verses, woe to you when all men speak well of you, because that's how their ancestors spoke of the false prophets. There isn't a celebrity martial artist at any point in human history that I wouldn't kill in a blink of an eye, hand-to-hand combat, knives, swords, spears. And with weaponless combat, I would crush their spine. I would crush their knee. I would beat them to a pulp. Because real martial art combat isn't with gloves and with rules in a ring. It's based on actual combat with weapons and weaponless actual combat during combat. No one on this planet could dream of doing what I've accomplished in martial arts. I made a top martial arts challenge that in the most competitive place in human history, or at least in modern human history, California. The most populated state in America, the country with the most martial arts schools in the world. And I said that if I get compensated for this psychological operation that they're running against me, and after showing character, I said, if I get compensated for the psychological operation they're running against me, at one point I made it $1 million. I think at some point I raised it to $100 million, I think, because the justification for the compensation is so great and there's so many people involved, corporations, what have you, that when it comes down to how much they each should pay, it goes over $1 billion easily. The federal government, the Fortune 500 companies, the state, the local government, law enforcement agencies, you name it. So I'm going to have to make a minor correction there where if I'm compensated, I believe we're at $100 million now. If you can win a challenge that should take, I beat one guy in like less than 3 minutes. It shouldn't take very long. It's a sparring challenge, right? Spar at spirit. Spar and up to par. Point sparring and proving a point. Commitments to wise action, prioritization, honor, discipline, dedication, perseverance, will, heart. Now, they know they try to make it sound corny, especially with the microphone and everything. But focus on what I'm saying more than how I'm saying it. No one in human history has ever done a comparable challenge. And I started in 2013. It's now 2025. And we're moving quickly toward 2026. Will be 13 years by the year if I'm still alive. I did so through sabotage, fuming, poisoning. I beat every challenger. And I made thousands of videos where I refer to the challenge on different platforms, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. The challenge is also on my bumper stickers, on my vehicle that I've had there for years, for like 4 or 5 years or whatever it is now. And I don't live in the Ozarks or something. I live right by San Jose. And I've driven through San Jose with those bumper stickers, the 11th most populated city in the country. And one of the most populated cities in California, which is the most populated state in the country. I did the equivalent of slapping the devil across the face with $100 million, figuratively speaking. And anyone else who doesn't believe me or is against me, and said, if your God and your religion and your system is greater than my God and me, then why couldn't you beat me at the only valid spiritual competition known to man in human history?